Hey everyone, and welcome to What Did I Miss?, where today I will be discussing the new sci-fi epic film Rebel Moon Part 1, A Child of Fire. This movie creates a vast and dangerous universe filled with enormous talking spiders, flaming swords, and whatever this is.
Oh, that's not right. No.
A story that was first conceived decades ago thanks to the brain of writer-director Zack Snyder, Rebel Moon takes the audience on a tale of redemption told through the eyes of the irredeemable. While this is the first of a two-part saga, the second film, titled The Scargiver, will be released on Netflix on April 19th of 2024. It does establish many nuanced details within the narrative that you may have missed. My name is Eric, and here I will break down everything I noticed in A Child of Fire, while also explaining the ending and what we can expect to see in the next part of the story. But first, I want to thank you for clicking on this video, and remind you that the best way to support me is to simply hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe as well for future videos. Zack Snyder first conceived of the idea that became Rebel Moon as a way of creating a film like The Seven Samurai, but within a science fiction setting. He pitched this idea while working on the movie Man of Steel to Lucasfilm in 2012 as a standalone story in the Star Wars universe. But after the company was bought by Disney, they decided not to move forward with the concept. However, there are people that feel that the film Rogue One has many elements from the pitch made by Zack Snyder, such as a female lead character that is the daughter of one of the main architects of the plotline, as well as the idea of gathering different types of warriors to stand up against an empire. After Lucasfilm passed on the idea, Zack Snyder also pitched the story as a video game, comic book, as well as an episodic series. But ultimately, Netflix was able to purchase the rights to the story after working with Snyder on the film Army of the Dead, with plans to release it as a single film. Filming took place in 2022, but during the filming it was decided to split the film into two films instead of just one, with both movies releasing within a few months of one another on Netflix. In the film, Sofia Boutella stars as Cora, a quiet farmhand on a distant moon named Vent. Through a narration by Anthony Hopkins, who voices a robot left over from the massive war, we learn about the universe that they inhabit. A government known as the Imperium rules the galaxy with an iron fist from their home planet, which is known as the Motherworld. After thousands of years of consuming all the resources of their planet, they are forced to venture out into the galaxy and conquer other worlds to sustain themselves. It is during this time that the royal bloodline, which is also kept for thousands of years, is suddenly ended after the king and his family are assassinated. This creates a vacuum that is filled with possible insurgencies on conquered worlds by rebels who mean to remove themselves from the burden of servitude to the Imperium. It is also at this point that a general by the name of Belisarius has risen to the role of regent and leads the forces on their mission of conquest. During one of their campaigns against another planet while he was a general, Belisarius finds a young Cora on the battlefield after her entire family was killed by his forces. He takes her in and raises her as his daughter, and in the following years, Cora rises quickly through the ranks of the Imperium after many battles won. We learn that she was the one responsible for guarding the princess before her assassination, and that afterwards she fled the Motherworld. We also learn that the princess was prophesied as the bringer of a new age of peace to the galaxy and could even restore life. Luckily for Cora, in her escape she crash lands on a farming moon and is taken in by a village there. Eventually, a dreadnought from the Motherworld appears in the sky, and Cora immediately recognizes the threat. She attempts to warn the leader or father of the village, played by Corey Stahl, as well as another farmer ironically named Gunnar, played by Michael Huisman. While Gunnar sees an opportunity with their arrival, Father seems to understand the threat and wants to get rid of the Imperium forces as soon as possible. Unbeknownst to the farming village is that this armed force, led by the ambitious General Noble, who is played extremely well by Ed Skrein, is looking not only for resources, but also for the remnants of an insurgent force. Gunnar has done business with this rebel force months ago, and General Noble is able to root this out of them during his first conversation with the village. Because of this perceived act of treason against the Imperium, Father is struck down in front of the village, and Noble demands that upon his return, that his forces are given most of the upcoming harvest. Noble leaves behind a regiment of soldiers as he takes his massive dreadnought, known affectionately as the King's Gaze, onto the next world to conquer. That night, members of the regiment attempt to assault a young woman in the village. Unable to stand by and witness the attack, Cora springs into action and frees the woman from the men by dispatching them one by one in brutal fashion, even though not a drop of blood is spilt in the scene, and perhaps the entire movie, which was done so that the film would still qualify for a PG-13 designation upon its release. Although Zack Snyder has said that there is a R-rated Snyder Cut version of this movie that he will release at a later date. After Cora kills virtually every soldier, she warns the village that they must now be prepared to fight the Imperium upon the return of General Noble. Gunnar, who feels partially responsible for the death of Father due to his business dealings, decides to go with Cora to find warriors to help the village fight off the incoming threat. Since Gunner did business with the rebels, he still has a way to contact them, but upon reaching the spaceport on the planet, they see that the contact has been captured by bounty hunters. Gunner, determined to find information that would help them find who they are looking for, suggests entering the local cantina, which is filled with all kinds of interesting characters. One of these characters assaults Gunner, which forces Kora to defend him. This assailant comes back with his friends, only so that Kora can quickly take them out as well, with the help of another patron at the bar. He introduces himself as a pilot named Kai, and is played by Jax Teller himself, Charlie Hunnam. He offers to help the pair find the rest of the warriors that they are looking for with his ship, and also says that he thinks he knows of a couple more warriors who may be willing to fight with them. The first character to join their crew after their departure is a man named Tarek, who is enslaved to a gambler that also happens to have a beast that appears to be part hawk and part large cat. The gambler makes a bet that if Tarek can tame the beast, then his debt to him is paid. But if he doesn't tame the beast, then all three of them will also be in his debt as slaves. Tarek is able to tame the beast and leaves with the group after the beast gets its revenge on its jailer. The only thing we learn about Tarek is that he is from a noble family and has had some dealings with the Motherworld. The next member they find is a mysterious swordsman named Nemesis. She is on a dark planet helping to save the life of a young girl that has been captured by a spider creature played by Jenna Malone. Although not mentioned but briefly seen in the film, Nemesis has 2 robotic arms. In an interview about the film with Vanity Fair, Zack Snyder revealed that Nemesis cut her own arms off and replaced them with ancient gauntlets as a warrior rite of passage after the Imperium killed her children. The gauntlets are able to power up her 2 swords so that they appear to be on fire. Kora and the company then travel to find a disgraced former general named Titus, who is fighting in what appear to be gladiator pits. Coincidentally, the actor who plays Titus, Digimon Hanasu, is well known for his breakout role in the film Gladiator with Russell Crowe. Titus was a general in the Imperium, but after seeing so many soldiers perish on the battlefield, he is haunted by what the Motherworld ordered him to carry out. While General Titus is still physically impressive, he is most well known as a genius tactician on the battlefield, and it is this role that he will play on the team. The group are able to track down brother and sister Darien and Devra Bloodaxe, who are the leaders of the resistance force that General Noble is looking for. They lead a force of raiders who have access to weaponry and ships, but Devra is not convinced that they should sacrifice their forces for Dora's cause. But Darien, who is played by Ray Fisher in a standout performance, understands how both groups are working towards a similar goal and is able to encourage half of their forces to assist Kora. However, this all turns out to be a trap when Kai is revealed to have made his own plans. Instead of assisting Kora in gathering a force of warriors, he has used her story to round up these wanted individuals in one place so that he can turn them into the Imperium for profit. Kai orders Gunner to kill Kora, but he instead is able to free her and guns Kai down in the process. A large battle ensues, which results in the death of Darien Bloodaxe, but most of the Motherworld forces are also defeated. Kora and Noble fight each other to the death, and Kora is able to push Noble off a platform after breaking several of his bones and stabbing him in the stomach. However, Noble is brought back to life on a ship after he is able to tell Belisarius, within some kind of virtual reality, that he has found his daughter and that she is part of the rebel force that he is looking for. Now that Belisarius knows where Kora is, as well as all these other people, he's probably going to throw every resource he has at finding and ending this threat. It was revealed in the film that he is a type of leader that is not afraid to appear on the battlefield, as that is where he first found Kora, so I would expect him to oversee this next mission personally, which will lead to a face-to-face confrontation between him and his adopted daughter. Now that Noble has been brought back from the dead, I would also expect to see an even darker side of his character when he catches up with Kora again. From the look of his body, this may not even be the first time that he was brought back from the dead, and I'm sure that he does not get any nicer the more times he is brought back from the brink. Kora and the rest of her group will not only be affected by Kai's betrayal, but also the honorable death of Darien Bloodaxe during the battle. Since his sister did not want to join the cause to begin with, she will not be too happy when she learns what happened to her brother. This could make her an enemy to Kora, but I think that is more likely to inspire her and the rest of their forces to join up in arms against the Motherworld with Kora and her group. I think we will also get a lot of history about the other characters in the next movie, as there was not a lot of time for their backstories in this first film. I think we will also learn more about the assassination of the king and his family, and why Kora was not able to stop it. Well, that is all I have today, but let me know in the comments if I missed anything. Thank you very much for watching. Please remember to hit that like button before you go, and I will see you next time on What Did I Miss?